Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 17. It's a good number, a fine number of the Dirty Pool Podcast. Today, I am pleased to welcome my guest, someone that I've been asking for, God, it's been probably a couple of months now. I think your schedule's just been so busy with so much streaming. It's Tom, everybody. You probably know Tom from Fox Cities Pinball and have watched a bazillion of his broadcasts, whether it be Papa or Pinburg. And we're here to talk about tournaments and how to run them.
Sure.
What's up, Tom?
Sounds good to me. How's it going, Jeff?
I love your background setup. I love that there's a Paragon. I love that you've got you've got like the Eye of Sauron, like the Mordor of LEDs rimming your yeah. Let me know. Hopefully we're sounding good. I do have to give a shout out to Tom for having probably the best sounding microphone so far as any guest on the podcast.
Let's go.
It sounds like you're in my mind. So Fox Cities, let's talk about Fox Cities. Just for people who don't know, where did the name come from? How long have you been streaming? Just give me a little crash course on Tom's start of pinball streaming before we get into all the tournament stoof.
Sure. So actually, I live in Appleton, Wisconsin, which is a part of the Fox Cities. So there's a bunch of basic little cities around the Fox River. That's how the name came up. We named our pinball league basically Fox Cities Pinball League, and I'm like, well, I want to stream, so I'll just steal this from here, and there we go.
Does it still represent? We're going to stutter for a little bit because I forgot to start the Instagram broadcast, so I think it's up now for all those 4 or 2 people or one or no people that like to watch on Instagram. Just being real with that number. But we do it for them anyways. So Fox Cities started as your local pinball league for it, where you were intending to broadcast the local league, and that's where it started from?
I was basically just intending to do it from home, and it just kind of branched out. I did some real local tournaments, and then District 82 happened, and I kind of talked to Eric and was like, hey, how about me streaming some tournaments? And kind of took off from there. So, but to say the least, I don't go to District 82 that much. So,
I mean, without a doubt, like with your Interium broadcast, I always mess up. How do I say the name correctly? Is it Interium?
Yep.
Sweet.
Yep.
Yeah, with the local Papa and Pinburg broadcast, if you've enjoyed any of that streams, you have Tom to thank for that. One thing that I've noticed about every time that you stream any tournament, you are the chillest goddamn motherfucker I have ever seen running a tournament. It looks like nothing in the world could bother you. How?
That is just on camera. So usually something happens at a tournament, like the internet goes out or a camera's not working, and I'm probably more freaking out behind the screen, the scene than I am in front of the camera. But on Saturday at Papa, we were actually losing our internet, and I was pretty calm about it because I knew I had Andy Bagwell there. But it's just one of those things, everybody is like, hey, what's going on with your stream? It's stuttering. It's like, yep, I know. We're trying to fix it. Just kind of try to stay calm. And if it wasn't for Andy and really Penny Epstein, because we ended up using her phone as a hotspot.
Oh, nice.
We would have been in trouble. So
there you go. Pro tip: if you're streaming a tournament and your internet's on the fritz, you can hotspot the hell out of it in a pinch, right?
Yep.
We got Dr. John here.
My phone because I had like 2 bars, So Wisconsin.
So what's the right bar count for an appropriate pinball bandwidth?
You probably want 5G. You probably want 4.
Oh, 4 bars. Go all the way.
Yeah.
Well, I want to give a shout out, Dr. John, and everyone else who's here checking it out live. This is a real live broadcast. If you have questions for Tom, I almost have said for Fox. Has anybody called you Fox by accident? Just me?
No, but that's pretty cool. I'll just go by Fox.
We're here with Mr. Fox, the code name streamer. So yeah, we're live. Ask questions if you have anything you'd like to know. Part of the whole point of this broadcast today is to help demystify the art of streaming during tournaments. And I think that you are by far the best person to possibly ask right now as somebody who's doing the most tournament streaming, I think, at least mobily, that I'm aware of.
Yeah, I would say probably right now. I mean, there's certainly probably better people to ask, but I try my best. You know?
But we're here. Okay,
We're here.
So when you clearly you need to have a connection with a facility that's going to host a tournament. So let's talk about how to begin the process of connecting and making relations with somebody that you want to like actually start. You know, we're starting to have a little stuttering. I'm gonna kill the Instagram stream. Sorry, Instagram. Peace out. It's been real.
See, and this is one of the caveats that happens. So a lot of people ask me like, why don't you stream to YouTube too? And it's one of those things that like sucks up your bandwidth, and it's not something that's reliable. So you want something that's reliable for everybody. And because I'm a Twitch partner, it just makes it easier basically for people to watch the stream.
Sure. For those who don't know, Tom and I actually staged all of these internet problems specifically to help illustrate this issue.
Yes.
So that was all Tom's idea. Way to go. Thank you so much, Tom. I really appreciate that.
No worries.
Perfectly executed. Okay. So you need to start a relation with an arcade in order to be able to start rolling aluminum around and filming stuff. How do you build the relations to start streaming at a tournament?
Well, I mean, honestly, you have to network. So you have to talk to the location. So if you're thinking of, hey, I want to stream at your location, first of all, you have to talk to the owner, ask them if they have internet capabilities. The biggest thing is the upload speed. You want to make sure they have pretty good upload speed so that your stream can get to the web. When
you say pretty good, what do you think, like 10, 15 megabit? Like what would you say is an appropriate amount of upload?
I think minimum probably 8 to 10, right. Depending on, you know, if especially if you want to do like 1080p. Obviously the higher the better. I mean, if you could get 10 to 20, you're probably golden. I always try to recommend, like, I don't always get this, but an Ethernet connection to their modem, that is huge. Because if you're going over the Wi-Fi, you're going to have drops in the signal and everything. And sometimes it's just, you can only do what's provided.
Sure. You get like a 50-foot network cable and just roll it around with it, or?
Yeah. I actually carry a bunch of cables with me, and yeah, I mean, I have a 50-foot Ethernet cable with me. I also have like a connector for like another Ethernet cable just in case. But I carry a lot of stuff around that I don't necessarily need all the time, just in case.
It's funny how the bag of the like backup bag is always the like most full and never used. Like you'll have like 50 power cables and whatever, just tons of junk that you never actually pull out of there. And then when you need something, it's not in the bag.
Yes, exactly. Or you're like, sir, you're like, I didn't put it away and like in the right spot. So you're like throwing shit around.
So learning, not being afraid to like meet and mingle. Like you gotta get over the fear of talking to somebody that is unknown to you. Would you say it's the first?
Oh yeah, that was the hardest thing for me becoming a streamer, was actually opening up and like talking. Because let me tell you, talking is like one of my fears, to like public speaking. Like if you got me up in an auditorium, I'd probably be like, and I mean, I basically did that for like the first 20 episodes of Triple Drain because it scared the crap out of me. But
you're used to talking to people kind of one-on-one, right? Like as a dentist, right?
Yeah,
you're sitting there and you make the mingle.
Right. It's my office.
1 on 50, 1 on 100.
Exactly. And, you know, I've kind of gotten to a point now where I'm just so used to it, it doesn't bother me anymore. So it's a lot of repetition, a lot of practice.
The fear goes away. As soon as you break like that initial kind of wall down, I feel like you're good to go.
Exactly. If I did this interview with you 3 years ago, it would not be the same.
So you've made a connection with somebody. You got a friend. Good. Yay. Good for you. You've got a friend now at an arcade and they're like, hey, do you want to set up a streaming rig in here?
Yep. Yeah. So you want to make sure, basically, like I said, you have, first of all, the internet, second of all, space. Sometimes space is an issue, and you want to have at least, enough for table commentators, all that good stuff. You want to make sure, if you're going to have a streaming rig, can you get that streaming rig around and move it between the games? And is there a low ceiling that's going to prevent you from using it? Just certain things.
It's funny how height is an issue. We're at Ace, which is our local place. It's funny, there's like one like concrete ceiling that is like pretty much exactly the height of the rig. And it's like, if you have anything attached to the top of the rig, like you're not making it underneath there.
Exactly. Like, are you going to be going through doorways? Like, is there multiple doorways to get through? That's another issue.
All right, so have a path for your thing. I would say, like, as much as having an announcer table and a commentary table, which, by the way, everybody who is on Fox Cities doing commentary is amazing. Steve Bowden comes to mind off the top of my head.
Oh,
I mean, just
absolutely. He's legitimately like the best.
Totally. I actually got to meet him at the Stern event, whatever, last week, and it was like a small bucket list item of mine. So I'm pretty happy. Oh, look at that. See, that's a pro move. Put your water bottle in your cup holder and your pinball machine right behind you. Oh. But let's assume that there is no commentator table for this. So this is like a tutorial for people that are just like kind of just getting their feet wet instead of diving in whole hog. So you've got an internet connection. You've got your rig set up. You've got whatever cameras. Say you're already used to setting it up.
Sure.
Tournaments mystify a lot of people because as a tournament director, let's assume that you're also the tournament like lead, right? So you need to be able to explain the rules to people as well as running the camera. That could be an incredibly kind of like intimidating factor. Can you break that down into more bite-sized chunks of like what it's like?
Don't be a tournament director and stream at the same time. I can tell you that right off the bat.
So you need two friends to do this. You need a friend that owns the arcade, and you need a second friend that's either going to stream or be the tournament director.
Here's the thing, because you're the one who's on camera and everybody knows you're streaming, they know where to find you. So if anybody else is helping you, they're not going to go to them. They're going to go to the person where they know where they're located.
You're never going to no peace of mind. So don't play in the tournament that you're directing is what you're saying.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you're going to wear multiple hats, just be ready to not be into your game. You're going to be doing other things. You're going to be streaming. You're going to be TDing. As soon as you're done with your game, somebody's going to be asking you, "Hey, I have a stuck ball. I need you over here." And then you're like, "Oh, well, by the way, I have the stream going. I should probably be talking to these people watching the stream." So there's
But instead, I'm trying to figure out how to get this ball out of Ghostbusters, right?
Right. How the hell did this get stuck? No.
Magnus Langs, obviously. That or Slimer sent it there. So when you are a tournament director at a tournament, right, would you recommend somebody go and set it up officially through IFPA the first time, or just try to like have fun with it to get their feet wet? Because there's a process for doing an IFPA tournament, and I don't think people are familiar with that. And something I do want to plant in your head for later in the stream is how companies like Stern, and we kind of talked about this in our pre-roll, could do better at helping people get onboarded for doing tournaments. Because it's a great way for people to get into pinball and interested in playing pinball at home.
I think it depends on what you want to do. So if you're just looking for, if you're just looking, hey, I want to get a couple people together, do a fun tournament, I'd say maybe not necessarily the first time do the IFPA thing. See how it goes, especially if it's your first time. And then
also, you can have fun playing pinball, and it doesn't have to give you Whopper points. Like,
Absolutely. Josh will tell you that, you know, you, I mean, but, you know, part of the fun is trying to get the Whoppers too. So, but,
sure.
you know, yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily have to run a full-fledged IFPA tournament. So I would say go out, you know, talk to the location. If you're like, hey, I want to run a tournament, run it by them first. Just don't show up and start running the tournament. Unless it's just a couple of buddies and you're like, hey, let's just go try something new and put ourselves in match play and have some fun.
So what is the process for running an IFPA tournament for people who don't know?
Yeah, well, you have to submit to the IFPA. I can't remember if it's 30 or 60 days beforehand. I think it's at least 30, but if you're going to limit your numbers, I think it has to be 60. I think that's a rule. So basically you go on the IFPA website, you have to have a login, and then you submit to their calendar basically, and you have to give them details. You know, what type of tournament are you running? You know, is there going to be a finals? All this, basically, you have to have a plan together before you go there and submit, basically.
And 1 to 2 months ahead of time, and not just like a tomorrow plan. We're talking way in the future.
Right.
So plan way ahead. You're going to do your tournament. You're thinking 2 months ahead.
At least I would say, like I said, I haven't submitted in a while, and mainly I've been doing submissions for just our league, which I have to plan out a year in advance. So our Fox Cities Pinball League. So all that is just you know, pre-planned.
Sure.
Okay, so that's the word I could say.
So you have to, one, you need to be able to make a password and remember it. So if you're a person who doesn't know how to remember passwords, going on the IFPA website, probably not for you. Maybe hosting tournaments
are great
is not.
for remembering passwords.
Okay, so get an iPhone, get 2 friends. I'm just going down the checklist here. We got to remember all this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll say that you've set up the IFPA. All right, it's tournament day, right?
Yep.
How do you decide the format for running the tournament? You do match play.
Well, hopefully you did that before, but
fair.
Yeah,
So
you got to do it beforehand. So, but I'd recommend using match play. Match play is probably the best and easiest way to run a tournament. You know, there's just so many variations. You know, you can run a strike tournament. You can decide if you want to do a 3-strike, 4-strike, 10-strike, whatever. Just a regular match play tournament with the finals. It's basically all there. You know, if you want to run a pin golf tournament, it's all there.
Would you recommend match play as a format for a starting tournament? There are so many different types. Let's just stick to one that you think is the best format for it. And then if you could go in and describe both like what it's like to talk the rules through to people, and then also what the actual rules are for that.
Sure. I think the easiest thing is like just direct match play. You have 4 people to a game, and basically those 4 people play out. What I would do is probably schedule, if I was going to do a night, I'd probably schedule 5 rounds of match play, and then basically randomly put people into the matches and then have them play out the 5 rounds. So basically match play is controlling everything. It's controlling basically in match play, you put the players in, you put the games in, and match play just magically just puts everybody together.
And there's points assignment for it, right? It's a 7-5-3-1, I think is the normal format.
That's usually the standard. You can pick whatever one is in there. I mean, there's tons of variations, but 7-5-3-1 is pretty much the standard.
And people can understand, like you get first place, you get more points than someone who gets last place, and the people that have the most points get to go on to finals or quarterfinals. Once you finish your 5 games, is it a cutoff? Is there a finals involved in it?
With direct match play, actually, even with IFPA, you do not have to have a playoffs. So it doesn't. Yeah.
So no, but maybe yes. The
Yeah.
best kind of answer.
Probably an easier one too might be a strikes tournament. I find the problem with strikes tournaments though is like if somebody's coming a long ways, you get, let's say you do a 3-strike, you have you play 3 games, you lose 3 games, you're done.
You're done, yeah. So for those who don't know, for strikes tournament, you play two players 1-on-1, and if you lose on the game, you get a strike. And as soon as you accrue 3 strikes, you are no longer in the tournament. So it's kind of like if you get paired up with like 3 Carls back to back, you're pretty much done for the day.
You're done. Yeah, Carl D'Angelo is going to probably be.
Yeah, he's going to hand you your ass. He'll be nice about it, but
I think those tournaments are nice. Like if you have a limited amount of time and like you're just like, I want to get these people out of my house. Yeah, strikes tournament.
Strikes is good. And I think speed is a good, you should pick a tournament format that doesn't burn people out. Like people don't want to show up to their first tournament as an introduction to pinball and play 14 hours.
Yeah.
It's 4 a.m. They're like, why am I still at this person's house that I've never met before? Like, yeah. So,
yeah, probably not a good introduction to pinball.
No. All right, so we're running our tournament now, and this is a good segue. Tracy has a pretty good question, which I had to read a few times to break it down, but I think I got it now. Tracy, tell me if this is right. So you're broadcasting it too. How do you make sure that you're streaming games that are both interesting to people? You're not just following, ZMAC around. You're trying to keep it interesting so that the people that you're recording, both you have something to talk about when they're playing, and also it gives everyone kind of a fair opportunity to be on stream if they want to.
Yeah, that's a hard question to ask because
I'm all about hard questions.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, typically what I'll do is in the beginning of the tournament, I'll try to stay away from players like ZMAC, although he might get mixed in there, just to basically, because I know I'm going to probably be streaming him later. So try to get others involved. The only caveat is some people don't want to be on the stream, and that's a hard thing, because a lot of times you don't know unless they physically come out and say to you, "I do not want to be on the stream."
How do you handle that? Are you like, we're trying to make pinball for everybody?
Like, I used to be worse at it. I guess I'd be like tough. No, I guess I've been in situations before where I didn't want to be on the stream, and because I was nervous. And if you're going to play in a high level tournament, you just kind of got to get over it.
You make them sign Fox Cities paperwork before they get on stream.
No, but usually like at Interium, it'll say like, people probably don't read it, but in the rules it'll say like, if you're basically committing to be on the stream if you're signing up for this tournament. But
even though it says that, it's like you can't force somebody.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we've literally had people like have physical meltdowns. And obviously, I'm not going to name any names or anything, but you don't want to see that either. So, like, if it's going to cause somebody mental distress, we don't want that. But at the same time,
don't put the rig on their game, right?
Yeah. So then you're trying to not put them on the stream, but problem is, what if that person makes the finals? It's like, well, we can't stream finals.
Yeah, at that point, you may pretty much have to. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, you're in finals, and we need to show this to everybody.
Right.
Nuclear Black says witness protection pinball. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, and somebody had brought it to my attention, like, what if somebody's significant other was out to get them or something, and was trying to stalk them. And I think the way we came around that was we just turned off the camera when the player was on, and the player was fine with that. So, but
okay,
I guess, situations happen. You gotta fly with it. And then
is
of
there
course,
such a thing as pinball drama?
Chat. Is there pinball drama? Hell yeah. There's drama everywhere in this. There's probably drama in every facet of life, but of course there is. Of course there is.
I was being sarcastic a little bit.
Oh,
it's kind of hard not to avoid drama with pinball, which is weird because everybody gets into pinball, I think, for the most part with the best intentions of just having a good time.
Of course, it's supposed to be fun.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, Tom.
Yeah.
Even in a tournament setting, you should be. If you're not having fun and you're playing a tournament, you're either being too hard on yourself or you're playing a lot of Jurassic Park. And I'm sorry.
I'll be honest. I'm a good example. I mean, there are times where I have meltdowns. I'm like somebody just punched me in the gut because I just had a house ball. I mean, it happens. If you're playing competitively, most of us are taking it somewhat serious,
Sure.
So
taking it serious is okay, but taking it where you're either hurting yourself or killing the vibe of people around you.
I'm not going to go put my hand through a door. Let's just say that, or I'm not going to put my foot through a lockdown or a coin door. That's just uncalled for. But,
yeah. Although I found out at Ace, if you hit the coin box a little bit, sometimes you can get free credits out of it. So if you don't want to pay for your games on tilt, just give the coin box a bit of a bump. Pro tip:
There you
you
go.
tell Shane I gave you those free games. He'll be stoked about that.
He'll love that.
Do you think? So we're talking about people playing it. Do you think that people playing kind of feed off your energy? Like, do you pretty much have to provide a performance for the entire night to make sure that everybody is like having a good time?
God, I hope.
I mean, but seriously, your responsibilities go beyond just streaming, right? Like, what do you think are the most unknown responsibilities for running a tournament?
God, for running a tournament, I mean, you do have to put on like a happy face the entire time. I really feel for like people like Eric Thorne at District 82. I mean, he is very bubbly and welcoming, and man, I couldn't imagine like having to, run a tournament, fix games, take out the garbage, find a time to eat while running a 15-hour tournament. I mean, it's that I couldn't do that. I physically.
But you do that.
I do it with streaming. Streaming is fun for me though. Like it is. Except when the internet goes down, then it's not fun. But
get you a 5G phone though at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly. But no, I mean it's fun. I mean, and I want it to be fun for others, but doing the mobile streaming, I couldn't do it without everybody's help, commentators and such. I mean, it's easy to move the rig around, but if you don't have people that want to commentate.
Sure. And you run a tournament at some of the largest tournaments in the world. So you've got people that are either other streamers or they've been in the scene for super long. I mean, Bowden as an example. I mean, he's been doing it for decades. I remember watching him do commentary on Papa back when Papa was at its own facility before the flood and before all the other pinball drama that went down for that. But it's nice to have, it takes a village, I guess is my point, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
So what do you do to handle malfunctions in a situation like that, right? So we framed it, right? We found a friend.
As a tournament director?
As the guy who's streaming it, it's kind of your tournament in our little hypothetical like tournament world that we've created, right? We've got our two friends, we've got our streaming rig. We found a location to go to. We're streaming right now. We know which people not to stream and which people to stream because somebody's in the witness protection program, right? But now, let's just say like, for example, what game should I pick to say is broken? I can't do this. You have to pick a game for me.
All right.
What game breaks?
What game commonly breaks? I'll use an American game. Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels. That's an excellent choice.
We'll just say.
Hot Wheels stops working. What a surprise. How do you handle it now? You're mid game, you're midstream. Like, how do you divert your duties to make sure that the show must go on kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to a game, I mean, it's more a tournament director's responsibility. So kind of like that's not my hat. It's like I I guess I'm going with the players, tournament director, and being like, "Hey, this game's not working." And either they're gonna have a tech or themselves fix it, or they're gonna have to pick a new game. So that's just pinball. And I
Sure.
didn't mean to pick on Hot Wheels. I just know there's one on a location near me that like the lights never work on
Well,
it.
everyone in chat is pointing out that Twilight Zone died at Papa, so we could use Twilight Zone as an example
Okay,
too.
yeah, that's a great example.
Don't listen.
So Twilight.
I'm talking to my Twilight Zone, which is right there.
I think it had multiple issues too. Like I remember like the right lane switch wasn't working right, or there was something like that.
It's usually the Powerball detector, like magnet
Yep.
line that's always breaking on Twilight Zone.
But
Not
this
that I
one
would
didn't
know.
have a physical power ball in it. It was just it was set to like recognize, like I think it was like every odd time it went in the gumball machine, it
Sure.
would start Powerball Mania.
Schwank says his Twilight Zone near him reboots. Well, that's probably the 5-volt. There's a little thingy dingy you can get to help stabilize that. Or your capacitors are going pretty bad, or the rectifiers. Those are the three things you should check if your WPC is rebooting.
So hopefully you have a good tech. Otherwise, hopefully you have more games to play than Twilight Zone. So, and like the techs at like Papa were freaking amazing. Like they were on top of
can't imagine
everything.
how they couldn't be. That's like essentially the Olympics of pinball, kind of, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, all those big major events.
How many pins is the minimum for hosting a tournament? Let's assume that we're also the tournament director.
It really
for this.
depends on players. So like, I guess if you're going to run a small, like let's just say you have 8 players, I'd say you probably want 4 games. 4 games to at least make it fun. So
that seems totally doable for a lot of small collectors, right?
Yep. And I think if you go to 16, you probably want to have 6 or 8, so 16, you're going to have at least 4 player groups. So you want to have a good mix. I mean, most like pinball locations will have at least like 8 games, I would say, like the bigger ones.
So your tournament wraps.
The bigger ones are going to have huge numbers, but.
Well, it's funny you say that, because one of the other questions, I kind of skipped it, but because we touched base on it. But what are the challenges for tournament directors as these events get bigger? Because Papa and Pinbird, like, I guess I'll feed this as like a leading question here, is that people that are playing with card purchases, right? Like it can go a long time and people can burn a lot of cards. And of course, like, if you get lucky and blow up and have an amazing card, you're in to go. But somebody who's just having a bad day, how do you keep the concept of participating in it fair and be able to allow the people that want to play in it to play in it? Because there's only a limited number. How many people were in Papa this year, as an example?
I want to say like 270.
So somewhere a couple hundred, right? But I'm sure that there were way more submissions for that, right? And there was a criteria in order to get in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you keep people throwing cards at the thing, or are you asking like how do you keep people interested in it?
As the tournaments get larger, how do you keep it fair for the people that can participate in it, as well as keep it like mindful of the time? Because tournaments can't go. People can only get up so early and go so late before it's like no longer fun, I guess.
Sure. I mean, it's a hard question to answer. I mean, with that many players, the cool thing about Papa is, I mean, it's kind of a cool thing, kind of a not cool thing because of timing, but 72 people get in. So like, I think right now that's the largest amount of players that actually make a finals. So I think like for somebody like me, it's like 72 players, I can do that, Whereas like if I go to Indisc and I think there was like 390 players or something crazy like that.
That's a
At
lot.
the last, that's a lot. And
Yeah.
it was like top 40. Like that is a lot harder.
Yeah, but you got a
just
Carl
say.
at that point, and he runs, what is it, Drains Tournament Manager, so he's got his
He
own,
doesn't even play in it though.
Yeah, but that's because that just shows
too
it
busy
takes
streaming.
Exactly, it's a full-time scenario in order to do it.
Yep,
That's
things.
crazy. It's funny that you say, oh man, 72 people, I can take care of that. Man, if I had to do a tournament with like more than 30 people, it would be code brown. Let me tell you. That means I shit my pants.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it just depends on, I guess it depends on the player. Like if you're a casual player, your first tournament probably shouldn't be a major in my view. But you know, maybe you're like, I'm really good at my home game, so I really want to try it. I don't see anything wrong with that. But I mean, getting some tournament experience at like your local tournaments, your bar tournaments is, I think it's a good way to start. So I don't know, necessarily think I would go to like a major tournament as like my first tournament, you know, kind of thing.
For sure.
But
we touched base a little bit on this.
I certainly wouldn't run a card format as like your first tournament.
Yeah, right. How to make yourself have the worst headache possible unnecessarily.
Right.
So in terms of quantity of tournaments, where we talked about this a little bit at the beginning, like how could manufacturers do better at helping people kind of like participate in tournaments and be involved in tournaments? Like, is there anything like a company like I'll say Stern because Stern's got the most initiative with Insider and Stern Army and all this.
Stern is probably the best example because they just pump out games and, you know, but I think Stern had the heads up thing going, and I really liked that because it reminded me of Carl's Ping Clash. So it is very similar to that. So in Ping Clash, you had objectives to do. And I think trying to get the rules down on these modern machines, you really have to break things down for people. Especially somebody who's not like us, who's really into pinball.
Sure.
So if you know, I'll take Jaws for instance. If I'm a person who's never played pinball, probably not going to know what I'm doing on Jaws when I first put a quarter in, you know. I mean, you can follow the flashing lights, but you're like, what am I shooting at?
And the paper card does not give enough info, right? We talked about how that.
Me personally, I know people will say that, but I don't think so. I think you need like an info, like it would be cool if Stern had like actual videos of like somebody explaining just simple objectives. Like, hey, this is how you start multi-ball on this game. And then, you know, it could go through like the inserts and everything else.
It has those preliminary videos that play on the screen, but they could take that and make a bigger video of it.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
Like what you're saying.
Exactly. Basically like a tutorial, you know, like that's how I feel, like a basic tutorial video on the screen. You have the LCD right there.
It's too bad Stern doesn't have like somebody that like came from streaming and like knows how to do like video and animation that could be like a resource to help make
be awesome if
some of these videos.
Do something like that.
Or someone that also worked at Marco that's used to doing like tech videos that could like probably team up and provide really good tutorials for people. They should hire people like that.
Exactly. You know, hopefully, I mean, that would be an awesome thing for like Kyle and Jack to do together. I mean, hell, I would go down there and help. I mean, honestly, I would. I mean, I understand it's another thing to add to the game. And I mean, let's be honest, on most of the games, they're behind on the code coming out.
That's
as
true.
It is.
So you think that having rules education would be a step in the right direction for getting more people to be less afraid to participate in tournaments? I just want to make sure I understand, because we were talking about how Stern could get more people into tournaments.
I think tournaments and pinball in general.
Sure.
I mean, I think both. I think you have to understand the rules. I mean, we're not talking baseball here.
No,
right?
for sure.
Every game is different, and yes, I think most of us who are pinball enthusiasts, we can figure things out just by looking at the play field and playing the game a few times. Whereas somebody else, right, where somebody else who's maybe never played a pinball machine before and they're putting $1 in trying to figure it out,
Right. I mean, they have a QR code on Star Wars, I noticed, on the new one. And I don't remember there being a QR code to scan. And I don't know what it does, but I'm wondering what an easy opportunity for them to have like a tutorial video built in that you just scan on your phone, because everyone's got their phone at tournaments. You spend whatever, a minute and a half, if they can compress it that quick, to get like a crash course on how to play the game.
Or right on Insider Connect. Now, they do have instructions on Insider Connect, but honestly, if you've never touched a pinball machine before, are you going to know to go to that and look up?
It says shoot the orbits. Like, what is an orbit for someone who's never played pinball before?
Right. I mean, I think it would just be cool. Like, you have, okay, so they have those videos on there, which are awesome. But wouldn't it be cool if, like, while those videos are going, you actually have like the inserts flashing, like, this is where you shoot for this, this is where you shoot for that, kind of thing. I think the rules have just gotten so complicated from the Bally Williams days. I mean, would you agree with that, Jeff?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, look at games like, I don't know, pick any Papa Duke game or any like mid-90s, like, I don't know, we'll take BSD, we'll take Dracula, for example, right? Like the mode stacking is fairly like unique at the time for that, to try to get all your multi-balls running at the same time. But scoring has gone from being kind of like a linear endeavor where you try to set up the best possible scenario and keep hitting that shot or whatever for points in an older 90s game. Whereas now, look at Godzilla, for example, where you could, build up your destruction bonus and multipliers through many different paths, or you could go to Planet X. Like, you could really acquire points in bizarre, abstract ways now almost when playing modern pins, which is either, I don't know if that's good or bad. Like, there's something nice about a comfort zone game like Denise's Total Nuclear Annihilation is a good example of a game that's like not overcomplicated in terms of a rules set, but immediately entertaining and satisfying.
Absolutely. Well, 1000% on that one. It's very, very easy to understand that game. You're locking balls, you're hitting it's easy to teach somebody who maybe doesn't know pinball, like, hey, just do this and do that. Send the ball up top and destroy reactors.
I think companies like Stern and JJP, I think for the most part, modern companies now are stuck trying to make games that are more innovative and more complicated than the previous game. And
I mean, it's more geared towards the home environment,
Right. And what they've acknowledged is like 70% now of the market, which is pretty big change than back in the 80s and 90s, I would imagine. I don't know what those numbers were.
Which, don't get me wrong, that's what I want. I love the deep rule sets.
Same.
I'm not saying that, but it's just more so, how do we get new people involved? How are they going to understand what we understand?
I don't envy any pinball manufacturer, and this is very true of the new Star Wars, right? I didn't want to make this a Star Wars stream since I've already talked enough about that game over the past couple of days, but it is a good example of they're trying to make a game appease new people that want to get into pinball, but also have it be interesting and deep enough for veterans and people that love Star Wars. And you're going to disappoint somebody no matter what. And if there's one thing pinball people love to do, it's be disappointed and complain about it. So
True.
El Rocco says, "Hi, Tom. What a treat." I agree, man. It is a treat. I'm glad you're here, dude.
Thanks, El Rocco. It's good seeing you, Papa.
Here's a good question or a good statement from a new first-time chatter. Old McIntosh, what's going on? He says, some of these rules are too deep for him or her, not to be assumptions here, or deeper than I have the patience to learn. They want to play pinball, not learn some choose your own adventure book where I need to do events in the exact same sequence. So, there's an example of someone would be frustrated by that and probably would like, a game that's immediately accessible like the new Star Wars. But for someone who's spending $12,000 or something on a game that's going to be in their home for maybe a really long time, that if it's too simple a game, you're going to get bored of it quick. And then, was your money really well spent at that point? That's
the beauty of some games. Like, there's the easy stuff to do, and then there's kind of the medium-ish stuff, and then there's the wizard mode stuff, and I think you got to have a good balance of that. And if it's not understandable, at least the basics in the first, the first time you're plunging, then what are we really doing? What are we trying to accomplish?
What game would you say is a great entry, kind of like gateway drug to pinball? Something that is.
You're going to ask me that.
Well, we derailed from the tournament stuff. We can go back there.
I know. I think something like Attack from Mars.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. Like Spider-Man was the first game I bought new in box, and like I like couldn't stop playing it. I loved it so much, but like the rules on that game are fairly easy to understand.
Sure. But you get your fun mode stacking. The Doc Ock shot's super fun to hit.
Yep.
So I get it.
And like Attack from Mars, you got to hit you got to hit the saucer. You got to hit the bank down, hit the saucer. Easy to do, easy enough to do. Everything, all the other shots are like 3 shots, and then you can get total annihilation.
It's funny you said that right when Orbital Albert said TNA. Everybody is agreeing in chat that AFM is like the go-to game for learning stuff. He also said the Beatles, which is basically Sea Witch with a spinny disc on it.
Right. Yeah, Beatles is but for me, like Beatles is very easy to understand, but it doesn't have, it didn't have longevity for me because it doesn't have that deeper stuff. It's just kind of like but it's a good entry level game for somebody.
And a really fun layout. Easy. But I mean, it is, you're seeing a game that was, from when was Sea Witch? Like late 70s, early 80s. It's got to be System, I guess it wasn't System 9, it's a Stern game. But regardless, it's an early game. So you're getting that layout of an early game, which the problem with classics, in my opinion, is that you can frequently just master the shot that's needed. And then all of a sudden that game is now no longer as fun in your inventory as say, a game that has a lot more complicated shots and complicated rules.
Right.
But
I love like Iron Maiden, how, there's like, you have your set of modes, but you also have this like side quest where you got to hit X number of ramps, switches, orbits, etc. I think when, Keith and Co did that game, it was just brilliant.
Yeah, and he carried that concept over to Jaws with, capturing all the different sharks, which has so similar mechanic, even though those are a lot more achievable since they're, supposed to do it multiple times in a single session at least, right?
Right.
All right. So we talked a little bit about how Stern could. Now I'm reeling us back. That was a Jaws joke. Get it? Reeling. Sorry. You talked about that they could make better tutorials to help people learn how to play the games better, right? How could Stern help connect people with tournaments, or at least getting people more into playing pinball on location? Because I think buying a pinball machine is expensive. I don't know if you knew that. Pinball machines are not cheap. So, but what is cheap is putting a 50 cents or $1 or more if your operator is a huge asshole into a game and being able to experience it to enjoy pinball and or make a decision about buying a game in the future. So how could Stern help make that happen better?
Wizard Beard just said ball one is your tutorial. It's not a bad idea.
He comes from the Steve Ritchie, get good, just play better kind of camp, right? Wizard Beard is probably Steve Ritchie in disguise right now. I know who you are, Wizard Beard.
like I said, I just think I think that heads up was just such a good idea as far as like I said, when Jurassic Park first came out, I was pretty lost on that game, honestly. I didn't know basic strategies. I still see people that play in tournaments don't know the basic strategies of that game. Um, and doing the ping clash is what actually helped me. You know, Carl had like a list of objectives. So, that if somehow they could get that into the game somehow.
I got it. I got it.
What's that?
They already have their achievements in there. There could be a set of tutorial achievements that you need to acquire when you get your game. And they could be prompted front and center on the screen when you log in with Insider Connect. Like, have you done the tutorial achievements yet?
Yeah, that's a fantastic idea. I mean, honestly. Yep. And then
that way then you can learn how to start multi-ball or whatever.
Obviously, that could be something selective. No, I don't want to do that. I'll play the game, or you could like turn it off in the settings or something. But
I'm not an achievement person. I can't stand achievements, to be honest. But I respect that there's people out there that like to collect their badges and stuff like that. And I see the logic behind having that system there. But hey, why not use it, like you're saying, to like kind of create a tutorial level situation.
Yeah. Like for me personally, the badges really don't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I mean, they just pop up on the screen. I'm like, oh, I did that. That's cool.
It's like when you play your first game on a game that you've never played before and you have an incredible ball and then the person behind you is waiting 30 minutes for their achievements to stop. Yeah. There should be a term for that when you like achievement bomb somebody or something. Maybe chat can come up with a good like term for a pro player like bombing the hell out of a game the first time.
But like you were saying, I mean, that reminds me of like when I had like a Wii controller and it's like, okay, you got to do this to like do this on the game. Like this is a punch. So like you had to throw a punch in the beginning of a game. And, this is how you use the controller to like whip somebody, that it's kind of what I think is needed for pinball. If you want to truly get people that aren't enthusiasts into playing pinball, I think that would be a good start. But that's just me.
When someone has a fun game, they love pinball.
Yes.
And when they don't like pinball.
Right.
So knowing what you're doing aligns perfectly with what you're saying.
But are they actually physically understanding what they did? I mean, I've literally had people be like, I don't know what I just did there, but it was awesome, and you're like, okay, well, I know what you did, but
yeah, you did amazing, but you don't know what you did. We got a few good suggestions. You could call them badge grab. That's a good term for it.
Badge grab.
Machine terminator. That's pretty ominous, but sure. Fliptronic says they're called tryhards. Ouch. I'm not sure about that. Okay, so that's fantastic. Stern, if you're watching this, that would be great. It's not a mean criticism. It's just you have so many resources to make some better, onlining videos to help people get into it,
Yep.
Please apply some of that. I think that's pretty much all on my list here. I guess where do you see Fox Cities growing in the next couple of years? I mean, now you've already streamed 2 of the biggest majors in the world.
Yeah.
What else? Are you going international?
It's hard to grow from here. We're going to be, I will be back at District 82 and I'll be doing the IFPA 21. So that's really exciting.
Awesome.
So that's like the invitational. You got to get invited to it. And
where is that going to be at Interium? Where's the IFP 21 going to be?
That's going to be at
District 82? Cool.
That's going to be in June. So.
Oof. There's a lot of good pinball coming up. Are you excited for Expo?
Yeah, be streaming that too.
Awesome. I would love to say hi in person. I will be there. It is my first Expo.
Yeah,
everybody keeps telling me to go to the Pinball Olympics. What is your suggestion to do for a first timer at Expo?
I have never done Pinball Olympics, and that's mainly because I'm streaming and I can't go to it. But if I was, I would definitely do that. You've obviously done the Stern tour, right?
I have. The first
Yeah,
time during the Star Wars trip. That's
yep.
a big ass building. Holy
Oh
shit.
yeah. Like, whoa.
Yeah. I did a video of it. You can see it on my YouTube. Hashtag self-plug.
If I was going to Expo and never did the tour, I would definitely do the tour. You have to do the tour. And then it's just like meeting people, playing new games. Like, don't be afraid to talk to people. I mean, that's the hardest thing. And, I mean, if you see me walking by, say hi, it's cool. If I run past you, it's not because I'm being rude. It's because I either have to move the stream or I'm playing. So,
There you go.
absolutely. I mean, just go to Expo, check it out, breathe it in.
absorb as much of it as possible.
Yes.
Dr. John has a pretty good question. Shout out to Australia. He says, have you ever had to remove somebody from commentating for being too drunk?
Too drunk. I don't think I've ever had to do that. Maybe I have and I don't remember, but I've definitely had to have people removed from the booth that were necessarily not invited to be in the streaming booth. And it was like,
which you can't police if you're out moving the game around. You're moving the rig around, right?
yeah, I mean, yeah. It's some people think it's like an open area and it's technically not. But
depending on where you can
obviously,
set up the table, right?
Well, and I'm not saying because there's people I trust, like, yeah, just go in there if you're available. It's cool, but like if I've never talked to you before, it's probably not a good thing to come in my booth if I don't know you.
Okay, if you're watching and you're at a major and you've never met Tom, don't go sit in the booth and talk about pinball. I can see how inviting that might be. Those chairs are probably super, super comfortable.
They are. Most of the time.
Enzo, I'm just seeing this now. I realized I didn't have the multi-chat pulled up. So if you were been talking to me on YouTube, I apologize. Enzo's here. He did an interesting talk with Carrie about the Star Wars yesterday or something. Anyways, he's asking you what your favorite Rush song is.
Oh, there's too many. There's way too many. I'd probably say Red Barchetta.
There you go.
That's probably my favorite.
Orbital Albert says that he poked his head into the booth once when he hadn't met you before at District 82, and he's apologizing for it.
I'm like, get out of here. No.
Can you guys make amends now?
Yeah, no, he's fine.
Orbital Albert, you're good, man. Tom has forgiven you. You have been forgiven.
I streamed you for like a whole 9 holes at Pinmaster.
There you go. Nobody forgives like a dentist. Remember that. Do you think that being a dentist has helped your like dexterity in terms of like flipper skills? I'm not a dolphin. This is my best. Like, damn it, clip it.
Not at all. I'd say like hand-eye coordination, probably like video games and pinball go maybe hand in hand, but it's definitely different. Pinball, man, there's so many like little tricks you can do with the ball, and sometimes in the moment you just like, why didn't I live catch that? What was I thinking? Or I should have post passed over. Why didn't I do that?
It's hindsight. Watching yourself on stream is fun too. If you're afraid to be on camera, it really is satisfying. I remember the first time it was, I think, the X-Men launch party at Ace. Carl had set up Heads Up with it was objective based. What the hell is it called? Where you have to get specific like things done. Yeah, you literally just talked about this, and I can't remember the name.
Yeah, it's like the Pin Clash.
Pin Clash. So
the head to head stuff.
So it was head to head, and he had picked a bunch of objectives that helped us learn X-Men, all the things that you're talking about. And I got to play it live and went home and watched it and was just like, why the hell did I do this and that? Like, it really helps you kind of like observe your play in a more pressured environment to play better. So
pin golf is fun. I mean, pin golf pin golf's one of those things, like it's fun if you're doing well, but not so fun if you're not. I mean, I guess that's like any tournament setting, but it's
I have a
it's always fun if you play in a pin golf tournament and like everybody else is doing good and you're like plunging their balls away. It's like the plunges of shame.
I love plunging shame every day. Misled, I can answer this question for you, Misled. Misled is asking, how can I stop bricking on Led Zeppelin? Don't play Led Zeppelin. That's the easiest way to not brick on it.
Led Zeppelin, so I mean, I have my strategy for Led Zeppelin. My strategy is cashmere and just stay in cashmere.
Well, it would help if I clicked the right button instead of sending us to the netherworld. So stay in cashmere. That's the move.
Stay in cashmere. Get multi-balls going. You'll have a good time. Keep the ball alive.
I've been saving this one for a little bit. If you had to pick a perfect lineup out of these games, I'm just going to throw a bunch of random games at you.
Out
and I
of
want you
my
to tell
games?
me.
Or,
no, I'm going to give you the list of games. I'm going to give you a list of games. And I want you to pick the best lineup you can out of this that you could run a tournament with.
All right, let me think.
Raven.
Okay.
Raven. And as a bonus, we're going to throw a fourth game in here because you said that you need at least 4 games for a good tournament lineup.
Raven.
It's Raven.
Oh boy. I haven't played Raven in a long time, but I do remember it being at a tournament. I think it was a pin golf tournament. I think it was at Mad Rollin'. This was a long time ago. I mean, it's fine. I mean,
Raven's not a great game.
No, but it wouldn't be like my go-to game, that's for sure. But
is Raven a good tournament game? Let's touch base on this, and then we'll wrap it up. I realize we're pushing. This is long. I appreciate you taking the time.
Played it that much, so I mean, I can't really say like.
Well, so then let's talk about the concept. Like, there's some games, even though they're not, maybe they're good home games. They're not good tournament games.
Incoming.
Oh, toot toot. Thank you, Orbital Albert. Look at that, man. Thank you for the biddies. I really appreciate it, my dude. Thank you so much. He's hype training our stream, our podcast. Excellent. Let's go. Choo choo. Doot doot. The Horn of Gondor.
Get that hype going.
So, like, for example, like Godzilla is not a good tournament game. Like, it's just nobody wants to wait 45 minutes for someone to play on it, right? Whereas I would say TNA is like an excellent tournament game.
It depends on the setup. So like you can set up Godzilla to be a good tournament game. You got to tweak that upper flipper so it's a real bastard.
Like remove it? Could you have you thought about just removing a flipper from a game?
You just set it up so it's like hard to shoot with it and like sends the ball in bad spots. But then people
damn it, Jeff, stop clicking the wrong buttons. Whee! Okay, so even a game that is potentially long playing and really like you would assume would be not a good choice could be set up interesting.
You just have to set it up hard.
What's the meanest thing you've done to a game to make it hard?
Probably like remove gates from like Robo War. I mean, that's not fun. That's mean. Fun.
Oh my God, Enzo. Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, man. That's a ginormous super chat. Enzo just sent a $31. It has an A in front of it. That might be Australian dollars. So that might only be like a 45-cent super chat. So I don't know what the conversion is on that. But Enzo, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we are monetized now. YouTube does the YouTube thing. So I appreciate it. It'll pay for my ticket to go to Chicago and might meet all the fine people at Expo, like Tom, who I'm going to grab when he's running past me with something really important to do. All right, Tom. I want to thank you so much for your time. As we usually wrap up here, anybody, if you've got any questions, please fire away. Also, Tom, please take the floor. If you've got any interesting events that you want to plug, I know you talked about IFPA, but if you got anything cool coming up, send it.
In the beginning of October, so first weekend of October, I will be in St. Louis for the St. Louis Pinball Area Pinball Championship, also known as Slap C, which is going to be at the Pinball Company, which my good friend Travis and company are putting on.
Nice.
So I'm going there
Speaking
to
of,
stream it.
Travis does amazing tutorial videos when new games come out. It's a good resource for if you want to learn how to do a launch
100%.
party.
Like,
yeah, shout
I've
out to Travis.
actually learned how to play some of my games in my house because of Travis and those tutorials. So definitely check those out.
True.
How many
Okay, so Pin
machines
Clash?
do you own? Like it. So I think I have 34 in my basement right now, and I have 5 in my basement at work. So 39 machines.
Wait, what is a? I don't want to ask what a dentist basement is like going on down there. Maybe
So this is just
that's for a different stream.
This is my small room. Although
I'm
one of
jealous
my
that you have a small room and a big room.
One of my bigger rooms only has 4 games in it. So
Orbital Albert wants to know if you could beat Joel if you were drunk and he was sober.
no, I can't be Joel. Oh, can I
don't know.
beat Joel?
I've seen Joel play. I think,
Yeah, probably. Actually,
everybody makes fun of me
Joel has beat me at pinball. I mean, he has beat me at a few games. I'm not gonna lie, but it's usually when he's talking to me and like, "Oh, look, Tom, look at the ball there." He's just being annoying Joel. So
everybody gets lucky sometimes, right?
Exactly.
Enzo's dropping a Seinfeld reference. He's saying that I'm an anti-dentite.
There you go.
What can I say?
Yeah, that it's fine. I love Seinfeld. It's a great show.
Do you think they should make a Seinfeld pinball machine?
I would probably buy it.
Would you do like 3 Ravens and a Seinfeld would be your tournament lineup?
I don't know about that.
All right, with that, thank you, everybody. Again, I appreciate, I hope you've learned about setting up tournaments. And if you have any questions, Tom said you can call his home phone line. I'll put that in the description. In other events.
Call my office. I will kill you.
That's amazing. Don't do that. Don't be a bad pinball person and call people on their personal stuff. Unless you're Ian, because Ian gives out his personal phone number for pinball help if you buy a LE version of his Nudge magazine. Yeah, I called it the LE version, by the way. By the way, you should go
message me on Facebook Messenger is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. If I don't get to you in a few days, it means I'm really busy, probably streaming a tournament or something in my life is busy. But I will eventually get back to you, or I'm playing in a tournament.
Of which case you should be watching that instead of messaging Tom. You should be watching the tournament, right?
Exactly.
There you go. As we do at every end of the stream, we got to go find someone to raid because we try to spread the pinball love. We got a bunch of pinball lovers here watching us, and now they're going to go watch somebody else if they stick around. So please do. Thank you for your support. If you want to find me and follow me on the socials, you know how to do that. I'm sure you can be a big boy or girl and use Google. In the meantime, I'll praise the Great Pyramid and goodbye.
Bye.